The PlayStation Portal. The thing that people say solves a problem that doesn't exist, and while that is 100% true, I still kind of like it. So I always say in my videos, I'm not gonna ramble, and I'm not. I'm really gonna get straight to the point. I bought this PlayStation Portal because I wanted to try it out. I'm a fan of PlayStation hardware, and I wanted to give it a go. I looked at all the research regarding the specs and what it can do, and I was just curious for myself. So the main takeaway of my experience is the Portal is not groundbreaking tech, but it's convenience done really well. So if you don't know, which at this point you should, especially if you're watching a video like this is not a PS5. This is something you buy once you have a PS5 or you have a PlayStation Plus subscription and you can stream games from the cloud. But I actually don't own that, and I didn't buy this to use that feature, so I will not be covering that at all. So if that's what you're thinking about, there's other great videos regarding that. This is just me using my PS5 discs and stuff that I own and seeing if I can actually get through my backlog. So technically, this doesn't do anything that your phone or tablet or laptop couldn't do before. This is just the PlayStation Remote Play app as a piece of hardware. It has controllers slapped on the side. It has a little tablet in the middle. It has no brains really. It's pretty light. I would say it's a little bit heavier than a DualSense controller, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. And when I got this, I was like, okay, this thing is actually pretty good. But I also was pretty new to PlayStation streaming. And then after playing it for about a week or two, I generated my opinion where it's not about how this thing does more than you could before, but how easily it does those things. Like most PlayStation hardware out there, this thing feels great. From the buttons, to the controller, to the analog sticks, the triggers, they have those pressure sensitive, I don't even know what they're called, those reactive triggers. The hardware itself is built well. The controller is essentially just a controller with a screen in the middle. You can't really dumb it down any more than that. I've always loved PlayStation hardware, where their earlier controllers, their consoles, they've always looked good to me. Even if the PS5 is huge, I still think it looks good. And I remember I did a video before, I had the Backbone PlayStation Controller Edition, and that thing felt amazing. It felt the same quality as PlayStation controllers do, with the X, square, circle, triangle, and the D-pad. They kind of nailed everything down, and I was like, this feels like PlayStation actually made it. They licensed it, so same thing, right? Enough blabber. Let me get down to my experiences. Because I'm new to streaming, I didn't know how to best optimize my settings. So when I first tried this thing out, I synced it to my PS5, I paired it, and that was pretty simple. It was pretty straightforward. That's not really a hiccup area if you're curious about going through that, or if you're new to this stuff. It's not hard. But I was on wireless. I wasn't plugged in through Ethernet, I was on Wi-Fi. Now I do have 5G, and my router is pretty central to my house, so I'm still getting, I would say, from where I was trying it out, pretty 400, 500 down from my PS5 to my router. So when I streamed from that, I actually didn't notice many issues. I did notice a little bit of hiccuping and maybe some kind of jittering, but it was very minimal, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't even need to plug this in. But I moved my PS5 to where my router is to see if it improved it or made the experience better, and it did. So I have my PS5 plugged in to my router directly, and it is, I mean, there's no drops, there's no nothing that I noticed when I'm playing games, nothing that actually breaks the game. So that concern is out of the way. The other thing that I did is watched a lot of videos online, because people are making videos of how to best optimize your streaming performance. One thing they said is make sure your PS5 is set to output 1080p. It was on 4K before because I had it on my TV. But I guess if you do 1080p, it only pushes out what the max is set to. So it wouldn't have to push out 4K and then push out a separate stream to 1080p. And with that being said, I also disconnected the HDMI cable to my TV or to anything else. I don't know if this actually helps, and if it does, cool, but if it doesn't, it's placebo. But some people were saying if the PS5 doesn't have to work to push out a display to another display, it can just focus on sending it to the Portal. So again, if you guys know the science behind that, cool. If not, I did it anyway, whatever. Just to reinforce, this thing is not PS5 running locally on the controller, the actual Portal. It's streaming. And for me, it's streaming locally. So the biggest thing that people talk about when it comes to streaming is the latency. There is latency, okay? But it depends on what you're playing that it actually makes a difference or matters. I've played Delta Force, which is an online shooter. I played Street Fighter, I've played Tekken, and these things, they require less latency, they require strict inputs, and those games are playable, but this thing is not something to use competitively. If you're playing a shooter and you have to do well, or if you're playing a fighting game online, you're not gonna do well. You're not gonna be on top of it like the other person is who's playing locally, directly into that console. You are playing through a middleman right now, and it does show, and you do feel it. Now, you do adapt to it, I wanna say. The more I started playing games, the more I realized, okay, I just have to kind of expect that this is gonna take a while and know what's gonna happen next. So when I was playing platformers like Shinobi, I was playing the demo. I've been playing that Raito remastered. That's pretty good. That's a Persona game, and it's an Atlas game, and it doesn't require strict inputs, and whatever latency there is, I didn't actually notice it, but I played that game strictly on the Portal. I haven't even played it on the TV yet to know what the difference would be. So when it comes to stuff like that, this is great. You can sit there and just play games, and the great thing about this is that you can just turn it on, connect to your PlayStation 5, which has to be in rest mode for this to work. Remote play in general has to be in rest mode, and then you just play it. And then when you're done and you kind of sleep this, it just puts it back to rest mode. So I do like how this is very plug and play. It's easy to use. It's almost like how this Switch Pro controller is perfect for the Switch, but if you use another third-party controller, there might be some features missing. Where this thing shines is the convenience. There is no questions about what you need to do. You pick it up, you hit the power button, you listen to the directions, it says press the PlayStation logo, then you play games. It's very straightforward. You actually can't really mess it up once you sync it. Again, I haven't tried the cloud streaming. I feel like that's also straightforward as well. And can you do this without the Portal? Of course. I have a Lenovo tablet, I have a phone, and if you have the Remote Play app and you sync it to your PS5, you can do the same thing. You can wake the PS5 from rest mode, you can play whatever games you want. And initially, I did try PS Remote Play on my tablet before it was wired, and I was like, okay, this thing kind of sucks. And then I tried it again with the Ethernet cord plugged into PS5, and it's as good as the Portal. The only thing I would say is the screen on my tablet, it's a 1600p screen compared to the 1080p screen on here. So I just think it looks better. The only thing is, you kind of need a DualShock, DualSense controller for the PS5 to actually recognize input. You have touchscreen controls if you want it, but no one really wants to use that. So if you have a DualSense controller, which you already do if you have a PS5, you can just use that and it works great. So you just need something to prop it up. Now I do have a GameSir third-party controller. I'm pretty sure if you can put those controllers into a DS4 pairing mode, that would work as well, but I haven't tested it. I also just like using the PS5 controller for playing the PS5, so that's all preference. And one more thing I wanted to mention, if you are using a tablet, like an Android tablet, you can use the PlayStation Remote Play app to remote play your PS5 and play PS4 games, whatever you have, but also it's a tablet. You can get out of there and play PS2 games via emulator, PS1 games. You can do other things. So it's almost more versatile. Well, it is more versatile than the Portal itself, but it's great. I've used this thing in the past few weeks. My family's upstairs, all my tech is downstairs. If I want to be around in the room with them, this is nice to just pick up and play. They might be watching TV, they might be just on their phone, or maybe I'm in bed and I just want to play real quick. I can do this. I feel like the reason I don't play my PS5 as much is because it's downstairs. And when I have something like the Steam Deck or the Switch or whatever, it allows me to play wherever I want to play and be present in a room, even when it's not conversationally, just being around somebody. So I really do like that. Now that I've actually tested the PS Remote Play more in depth on my tablet, I can continue doing that without the PS Portal. So a few things I do want to say. Your internet speed does matter. I have pretty good internet here. I have a gig up, so my streams are pretty well. I think I'm in an ideal situation right now with getting the best bang for my buck with the PS Portal or just streaming in general. Now I have tried using this on my mobile hotspot, 5G hotspot when I was in the car. I just couldn't connect to my PS5. I don't know why it did that. I did go to a cafe and do it there through their Wi-Fi, and that worked fine. I think I showed the internet speeds here. That was like 70 megabits up. So it was still pretty good. It was playable. The same input delay that I felt at home, which isn't much again. I think I was playing Street Fighter 6 during that. And on top of that, the Wi-Fi I connected to was one of those ones where you have to go to a middleman portal. portal for the portal, but you connect to the Wi-Fi and you have to kind of go to a splash page and you have to click on I accept. The portal couldn't do that before, and now it kind of just sends a QR code so you can do it through your phone and accept it, and then you connect. So that's really convenient, and I think that's a feature that didn't come available when this thing first launched. But again, I bought this thing recently, so I'm kind of experiencing a better, refined system. So this thing is an enabler. It does allow you to play your backlog if you have different rooms, or you want to be in a certain room, you want to play during bed and chip away maybe 10 minutes. It does do that well. The limitations are the fact that you're buying a separate device and you might already have what you need to do this if you want to. If you have the money and you like the tech, do what you want. You can see I do that. I'm a child. But when it comes to necessary things, this is not one of them. If anything, using my tablet when I do PlayStation Remote Play allows me to use Bluetooth speakers, which is Bluetooth headphones, which is something the Portal can't actually do. You have to buy the proprietary Sony ones, and I think that's kind of BS. Also, the hardware itself is a limitation. The controller is great, but like I mentioned, you can use an actual controller and play on a tablet. This is just a $200 piece of equipment that makes things easier, but at the end of the day, you probably have a free way to do this. Free, because you already invested in the PS5, but you already have a free way of doing this. And I mean, that was my experience. This thing, I have put it through the ringer. I've used it almost every day. Usually after work, I'll come home and play a little bit. Sometimes I'll be playing right next to my PS5. I have it hooked up next to my router, like I mentioned. So while my PC is updating or loading, I'll just play on that. I guess I could plug it in to a monitor while I'm here, but I can also just take this and walk upstairs or do anything else. So I do like that kind of versatility of how portable it is. But I do think Sony kind of messed up by not putting actual hardware into this. I think they could have made it a little more beefier. I think even the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi is not the most up-to-date that they could have used. So there's definitely room to grow, and I definitely think Sony will grow. They're gonna have another portable, whether it's another Portal 2 or it's a actual portable PlayStation that has something, I don't know. I heard rumors of the PS6, whatever. As a recap, if you want something to just pick up and play your PlayStation 5 games, this is the thing to use. I don't own PlayStation Plus. I don't plan on owning it. I kind of want to buy physical games or digital games and just play those. It allows me to kind of focus on the backlog, which is a big issue that I have in general. It's plug and play, it's nice to use, but it is not necessary, and its capability is available in already existing devices that you might own. I know for sure I have so many devices I can use this with. It's not a revolution, it's a refinement. And sometimes that's enough. It's a problem that they created, and then they've also made the solution. The only caveat is that the solution is not what could have been done. It wasn't the best solution, and the solution already existed. So I don't know, it kind of depends on what you want to do. I do think the system itself, the console, I don't like how to call it, I'll say device, it's like a half-baked device. I do think the device looks amazing, feels amazing, and that quality is there. But is it worth $200? That is up to you. I got this open box on Amazon for about $180, so I saved 20 bucks. It wasn't too bad. The black one is really nice, really sleek. That 30th anniversary one is even better. But again, it depends on if it's worth it to you. A lot of people are bashing on this device. Go ahead. I mean, everyone can say what they want, right? But if you like it and you use it, there's a use for it. Not everyone wants to have a separate tablet or separate something. They just want something convenient. And life gets pretty complex, and sometimes having a bit of convenience is worth the money and makes things easier, makes things more fluid. That was my quick little review of the PlayStation Portal in 2025. It's been out for a while. I kind of stood off on buying it until just now. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. I have some friends who want to try it, so I may just kind of loan it out to them and see how they like it. And if they like it more, they can buy it off me, that's fine. But I'm curious as to what you think. Do you think the PlayStation Portal has a place in 2025? Did you buy it before? Were you an early adopter during the rough times? And do you think it's way better now? Leave it down in the comments. I am very curious as to how the general thought process for this device has changed over the time. Or some people still think it's trash. That's fine too. Let me know. If you do like the video, drop a like. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.